Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and Supergirl will be ending its run with its upcoming 6th and now final season on the CW. This is coming off of the Arrow, obviously recently wrapping up as well. But even though I was never a huge fan of how the way Supergirl had become, I'm not a regular viewer, but I've seen it from time to time. I liked it in the beginning. I liked the casting of Melissa Benoist, but I just, like every CW show, and my favorite being The Flash, they get so silly. It just feels like the showrunners, the writers, they just have such a tough time maintaining a full TV, network TV order. And I think all of these shows would benefit from smaller runs, going to HBO Max, as well as just sort of becoming, I think they should just make an Arrowverse show would really be my pitch, because I'd love to see Supergirl show up once in a while to a show, but like put them all in one world and let them come in and out to let us have a cooler sort of smaller run series. I think that would just do wonders for the series if they could connect. But at the same time, they do it, their crossover events, and even those have gotten a little silly. Crisis on Infinite Earths was not fantastic for me, but fans are still out there watching, and so let's break down this news story just so we understand why this happened and what's going on. The Supergirl had already been going through problems, obviously, with every show is having problems right now with production delays due to the Bud Light, as we call it, since we can't use the real word. But on top of that, Benoist was also pregnant, so the start of production was delayed to accommodate her pregnancy. So the series is slated to begin filming in Vancouver on September 28th, waiting for some sort of union rules and stuff to make sure it's all safe. But they would have filmed around before Benoist joined later, apparently, according to Deadline. But beyond just the delays, Supergirl's ratings have been on a downward trajectory, as this article confirms. So apparently the producers, the studio, the network, and Benoist herself came to the decision together that it was better to end the show with a longer final season. And so she does a reaction we'll get to in a second. But the creative team has started developing the storylines for the final 20 episodes. The order is expected to be longer than most broadcast series this coming season, including the CW scripted shows, which will be launching in January and beyond. I guess we are going to finally get some shorter runs of these shows, which to me is a good thing. But with Supergirl, they're not. They're going to lean in and do 20. But if they're wrapping up storylines, then you know what? Maybe they do have enough to fill up the time. Supergirl obviously joined in October of 2015. God, time flies. And then the CW in season 2, October 2016. And then, this season brought in a lot of cast, including a special guest star, John Cryer. And season 5, Supergirl faced threats both new and ancient. National City became enthralled with addictive virtual reality technologies created by Catco's charming but secretive new owner, Andrea Rojos, which enabled people to bury their heads in the proverbial sand as Kara used the power of the press to try to expose the danger. She was forced to contend with challenges put up by rival reporter William Day. Anyway, look at this all. I'm just not into this show anymore. But that brought the shocking return of Lex Luthor, played by John Cryer, who, in addition to his plot for world domination, sought to claim the soul of Supergirl's best friend and sister, Lena. So look, they've been doing the best they can, and Berlanti's just keeps these going. It's sort of the only thing I know about that's on the CW. I guess that and like Riverdale. But Melissa did leave a response here. We'll go through it really quickly here. To say it's been an honor portraying the iconic character would be a massive understatement. Seeing the incredible impact the show has had on young girls around the world has always left me humbled and speechless. She's had that impact on me too. She taught me strength I didn't know I had, to find hope in the darkest of places, and that we are stronger when we're united. What she stands for pushes all of us to be better. She has changed my life for the better, and I'm forever grateful. I'm so excited that we get to plan our conclusion to this amazing journey, and I cannot wait for you to see what we have in store. I promise we're going to make it one hell of a final season. El Maraya. I guess that's something she says in the show. I don't actually watch the show as often. I've seen it. I like her. Anyway, Supergirl, CW. There you go. So, look, sad news for fans of the show, but I think you can see this coming. All of those CW shows, they all sort of have the same boilerplate template, and they get very repetitive. Honestly, I don't know how they do it. And when you have to fill up the full season, 24 episodes, or more sometimes, including the crossover events that they do across the shows, it's a lot of time to fill. And it just shows why, the Flash is the best example I can give. It's like how many other speedsters are and the villain of the week, and how many times is Barry going to trust somebody he shouldn't, and Cisco is going to do it's just like the same old stuff. And I love the first few seasons of the Flash, don't get me wrong. And then I kept going just because I love those characters, but man, it's gotten silly. And now with the loss of Elongated Man, sorry, I can't watch this Flash season anymore. I like Grant Gustin. I hope he gets to show up in the movies, but to me, the TV show will die along with Elongated Man. I think what they did to Sawyer Hartley was not cool. I still stand by that. I understand he made some mistakes, things he said, but I think they threw him under the bus so hard, and now have sort of just attempted to have all the fans just, there are a handful of angry fans at him. I get it. But at a certain point, you got to let him have an opportunity to say his piece, accept his apology, and hopefully show that he has grown. And I think there's a way to take a pause in the character without completely destroying Sawyer Hartley's career. So for me, that's my Flash tangent. But regardless, Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, they all have the same problem of those plot lines start feeling so repetitive. So to me, if they were to just back up and create I don't know what you call it, the Justice League is really what it is, right? It's a version of the Justice League. It's their crossovers, but as shows, where you get these characters to show up for, certain episodes, and you plan it and write it in advance, so that way when you get Melissa to show up for a shooting, she can make you bang her out in a couple episodes, few days, you get her stuff out, so she has any crossover collabs she needs to do, she got them, and then she can focus on her arcs. But that way you can have each character take their own little journeys, episodes. We can follow them for an episode or two, and then Flash shows up for one. Whoever else they decide to introduce can show up for the other. I would much rather start seeing that at this point than continuing to see the same shows. Because even I feel like the Arrow, Batwoman, all this stuff, the Supergirl, they all have the same formats. Do you know what I mean? It's like all the same format of who's going to double cross and who's on the nerd team and who's the villain this week, and they didn't die, they're put in the jail because we don't kill them. It's all the same sort of stuff. So if they're gonna kill the Supergirl show, I hope they can at least use her in a way to like, yeah, you know what, Melissa, the show's dead, but let's keep Supergirl alive on these series. Let's figure out for her to show up on the other series once in a while. Showing up on Batwoman would be pretty cool. So that would be fun if they can figure out a way to put a pin in this series, but put the character somewhere else for fun appearances or cameos. I'm all for that. But what do you guys think? Were you fans of Supergirl? Are you sad to hear this news? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, or you can always hit me up on social media at Andy Signor if you've got any news or thoughts you want to share. It's Tuesday, so we'll be live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like we are every Tuesday night. Me and Jody will be talking through this, some other headlines as well. So make sure to join us for tonight's live stream. Have some fun, hang out, and we'll see you soon. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe here to Popcorn Planet. Thanks so much for supporting, everybody. See you soon.